It's the toughest job Russian oil giants Lukoil have ever taken on. Below ground, one of the world's largest remaining untapped oil fields. Above ground, a whole infrastructure that must be built to get the oil pumping.
You put your attention on this area.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. But you forgot about others.
With inexperienced crews.
Bring it back! You can't come up! You're crazy!
With vital equipment held up in port.
Your inspector is sitting here without any welding tools.
Battling contractors who are falling behind schedule.
Talk it through, find out what the answer is and make it happen.
In one of the most hostile environments on the planet.
Any type of incident happens en route, i.e. small arms fire, you'll hear a shout from the front to brace, brace, brace.
And they've got to get the oil pumping in record time.
И это была такая гонка со временем, это как быстрые шахматы.
It's early January 2013. This is Lukoil's West Kurna-2 oil field near Basra, Iraq. It has an estimated recoverable reserve of a staggering 13 billion barrels. Once up and running, it'll be enough to keep this oil field pumping for 25 years.
Это один из самых приоритетных наших проектов. Не только по масштабу своему, потому что здесь колоссальные инвестиции. За период контракта будет вложено более 20 миллиардов долларов инвестиций.
It's just 10 months before Lukoil must produce what's called first oil. That's the date in November when they must pump their first batch of 150,000 barrels per day. Lukoil are building everything on former marshland. From the ground up.
Месторождение мира, на котором не велось никогда разработки, это Greenfield. Требуется не просто бурить, требуется построить всю инфраструктуру, электроэнергия, установки подготовки нефти, водоводы, трубопроводы, резервуары.
No one has attempted to build an oil field like this in so short a time.
Нет таких проектов, которые бы реализовались за такое короткое время в мире. Поэтому, если нам удастся, это будет мировой рекорд.
And to help break the world record, Sergei has come to Iraq to see things for himself. Because the guys on the ground are slipping way behind schedule.
So this is the phase 1 on spec tank.
Tell me about the schedule. Is it on schedule or not on schedule?
This one is a little bit behind schedule actually, isn't it?
A little bit how much? What's your expectation?
When we
As for tanks that we can catch up 2-3 weeks behind of especially the second priority tanks.
Our furthest advanced tank for this area is the first off-spec tank, which is the template's been installed and we're ready to now pour the ring wall.
Sergei and his colleagues are inspecting the site of what's called the Central Processing Facility, or CPF. The CPF is the beating heart of the project. Its scale is enormous. It covers a site 2.5 kilometers square. It uses over 1,000 kilometers of cabling. And it contains 70 massive vessels in which the oil is cleaned of water, gas and salt and other impurities before being sent for further refinement, storage or export. When it's fully up and running, the CPF will be able to process 400,000 barrels of oil every day.
There was a delay here, yeah?
Yeah, there was a slight delay because the orientation of the template on top wasn't supervised correctly and they had to reshuffle it. So we lost a week.
Шаблон, под анкера. Пришлось снимать, шаблон разворачивать, перемонтировать полностью.
building the CPF will cost over $1 billion, the single biggest expense on the whole project.
You put your attention on this area.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. But you forgot about others. You solve one problem, but you got another one.
They generally say that there's not that much delay. We're going to catch up.
Sergei and the Lukoil team are finding delays everywhere, including here, where water cooling towers that are used in the oil cleaning process will be built. The piles are in place, but the foundation has yet to be laid.
All the equipment foundation, based on the delivery of the equipment, will be met.
Okay. So required on site.
Yes.
The major equipment arrives May, June.
Yes. But starting from, as per the current schedule, from the late weeks of March. So we'll be prepared for the foundation.
It's time for Sergei to lay down the law.
Tomorrow I kindly ask to report not in general.
Yes.
Each exactly location.
Facility by facility.
Yes.
Facility by facility.
Yes.
Activity by activity.
Yes.
What is the situation in each site, okay?
Yes.
This is the cause of most of the hold-ups. Qasr, Iraq's biggest port. It's through here that almost all of the supplies for the oil field must arrive. This year alone, Lukoil will import 75,000 tons of equipment through Qasr. And not just Lukoil. Shell, Chevron and other major players in the oil industry use the port too. That's creating a major bottleneck.
Проблема порта в том, что он просто не способен пропустить через себя такое большое количество грузов, прибывающих в страну. Сегодня он заставлен буквально контейнерами, и очень сложно там выбрать те контейнеры, которые нужны нам на строительство.
And if that's not bad enough, there's also Iraqi bureaucracy.
Что касается таможенного оформления грузов. 3 раза в прошлом году менялось таможенное законодательство. 2 недели назад еще раз поменялось таможенное законодательство. Необходимо по новой ехать в страну происхождения груза, по новой оформлять документы. И вот это вот основная проблема таможни.
With just 10 months to go before first oil, Lukoil have it all to do. They must construct 30 rigs, drill 532 wells, and build kilometers of pipeline.
Это огромная работа десятков тысяч людей. Это самый большой проект в истории Лукойла за все его время существования, за 20-летнюю историю.
To meet the deadline for first oil, 23 of the 500 plus wells must be up and running by November 2013.
И это была такая гонка со временем, это как быстрые шахматы.
One thing that is under the control of Lukoil is the speed of the drilling. But that's run into problems too. The guys are not drilling fast enough. The answer? Bring in 2 experienced rig coaches. If anyone can whip the crews into shape, it's these 2 guys. Between them, Nordine Essahan and Herwert Dietrich have been working on oil rigs for over 50 years. Nordine and Herwert set off to visit their rigs for the first time. These guys are the roughnecks, and they're new to the job. They're taking 50 minutes to connect each section of the drill pipe, a job that should be done in 4 minutes.
أنا جيتكم هناك عندكم خبر باش نسويكم نرويكم أشياء تاع الشغل باش تتعلموا الشغل زين وبسلامة، أوكي؟ وثاني ما نضيعوش الوقت. الوقت هو أهم شيء في الدريلينج. لما نضيع وقت يعني معناتها نضيع فلوس. أوكي. حتى تشوفها تحركت شوية وبعد تطلعها. ما تدير يدك حتى تشوفها تحركت. ممكن يكون فيها تورك يعود يرجع هكذا. يدور يقشرك يدك. أيوة زين تمام.
The Roughnecks have been training all morning. It's time to put what they've learnt to the tests.
All the time you have to anticipate the job.
This is the derrick, which supports the crucial drilling equipment. A roughneck climbs to the top. It's his job to get each new section of the drill pipe ready. "100 feet below, the drill pipe is manoeuvred into position.
Time they're doing good. They following my procedure. They listening.
Power tongs will screw the two sections of the drill pipe together.
It comes in 5 minutes.
Under Nurdine's expert direction, the guys have made extraordinary progress, but it's still not good enough.
We have to do the connection faster to save in money.
On Hervart's rig, the crew are already 8 days behind schedule, and they still haven't completed their first well. And now the guys have run into a major problem. The drill is powered by a huge motor called the top drive, but the gearbox on the top drive is broken.
We have a problem with the top drive. He will not rotate, and we will lay down the top drive for check him.
First, a pulley lowers the top drive to the rig's floor. The top drive will be lowered to the floor of the rig and then onto the ground. A team of mechanics will then open it up to see what's wrong. Taking down the top drive is an everyday job on an oil field, one that usually takes an hour to accomplish.
Two link this one, and two long link, we make an extension. Okay, slowly up. Yeah. Okay, now the other one, this one. When it falls down at high, 20 meter, maybe more than 100 tons. When it touches the rig floor, we will kill the people, the equipment will break down.
The team proceed with caution. Luke Hall insists on safety first on all their rigs.
It's a 15 ton sling, we have here 30 tons, also double safe.
So Hervart needs to check the crane can take the load.
You can see here, this one is a digital weight indicator. It's a very important gauge for, we will see the load, the weight from the load. And when this is not working, we will not use this crane. It's very important.
They need to get a new crane. But in Iraq, something as straightforward as ordering a new piece of machinery is never that simple. Luke Hall's giant West Kerner 2 field is one of the most ambitious projects ever attempted in the oil industry. And providing the power to get the oil pumping is going to take a colossal amount of power. With no existing infrastructure, there's only one thing to do: provide your own. A huge power plant is being built on site. Gas and air will be heated inside 6 enormous custom-built turbines to generate electricity. Florence, Italy. It's where the first of these 3 turbines is going to be tested.
We're going to check the vibration, we're going to check the temperature of this machine, and we're going to prove that what we have designed is working perfectly, and we deliver what we are promised.
The turbines earmarked for WQ-2 are so powerful they could provide electricity for an Iraqi city of 100,000 people. This is the first time the turbine has been switched on. If it fails, the whole project at WQ-2 will be delayed for months.
You can see from the from the silence, we are all, let me say, a little bit. I'm waiting just for this fatidic moment.
The first test the engineers carry out is for speed. The turbine must reach 5,163 revolutions per minute. It's a success. Now, they must test for vibration. If the turbine vibrates by more than 6 millimeters per second, that will mean failure. To pass, the turbine must run at top speed for 2 hours. They've done it.
One done, 2 more to go, so it's quite a nice feeling.
Soon the turbines will be dispatched to Iraq. Lucal are one step closer to meeting their deadline.
The acceptance.
But back in Iraq, not everything is going to plan. A team is currently building the pipeline that will move oil from the central processing facility to enormous storage tanks for export. The pipeline will run from the oil field and under several water channels, and then beneath the mighty river Euphrates. After that, it dips under the main road to Baghdad, before heading for the storage tanks at the Tuba Tank Farm 105 kilometers away. To get the job done, the team uses high-tech Italian automatic welding kit alongside its manual crews. With the flick of a switch, it welds together up to 100 sections of pipe every day. But the machinery is held up somewhere in the docks at Casa. The team are going to have to do everything the old-fashioned way, by hand. Sohaib Tariq has come to check on progress.
Good afternoon, guys. And today, what's the number of these joints now?
This is the number of that one.
11.
Yeah.
And we expect average daily production for this crew 20 welds per day.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, guys, that's good. Anyway, we are looking for more, basically. Progress is very important. However, we need to maintain a good quality as well.
Delays at the port are not the only problem.
Компания, которую мы выбрали, она имеет опыт строительства трубопроводов в Ираке. Она до этого построила трубопровод в Ираке. Она знает, как работать в Ираке. И это ее плюс. Но у нее есть и большой минус. У нее очень слабый менеджмент. И нам очень много вопросов приходится решать за них.
And where is the welding foreman? Okay. Your inspector is sitting here without any welding tools. Okay? He's a welding inspector. He's supposed to check the fit up of the joint. He's supposed to make sure that the fit up is per the welding procedure before you commence welding. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes. There's only one thing to do.
I would suggest that you do not start welding here till you talk with your QA/QC manager. Let him bring the welding tools, welding inspection tools, before you start welding here. Okay?
All welding is halted. Before they can go any further, every weld done today must be checked again.
I'm very disappointed, basically, because welding an inspector without welding tools, it doesn't make sense, okay? And this will just cause delays to the welding.
Time is of the essence because the scale of this project is mind-blowing. Luke are managing the whole project from an office in Dubai.
This is Integrated Drilling Operations Center, which is monitoring and coordinating the drilling operations in Iraq.
This is a state-of-the-art operation where every second of drilling on every rig is closely monitored 500 miles away.
All the operations are being monitored on 24/7 basis. Like everything is recorded and all the drilling parameters, what is happening, we have all the things are translated here in Dubai.
And the Dubai office has stepped into the breach and found rig coach Hervart Dietrich a new crane. Already several hours behind schedule, Hervart hopes the guys can now catch up.
Crane is here. I'm feeling very good. The crane, I think, is in good condition. He's on the right place, and now we can start with the work.
The first task for the crane is to remove the pipe ramp. That allows the crane to get as close to the rig as necessary.
You do the job well, yeah? No problem.
It's now that the job really begins. Hervart knows the correct procedure for doing it quickly and safely. The pulley, called the travelling block, lowers the top drive to the rig floor. The crane holds the top drive steady, while a winch steers it down the ramp.
No, here, on the top. Inside the travelling block.
So far, this 25-ton monster has been lowered to the floor of the rig and laid flat. But now they have to get the top drive off the rig and onto the ground where it can be examined. Hervart is called away for an urgent meeting. While he's gone, the crew come up with their own plan, which they hope will save time. They disconnect the travelling block from the top drive. They're going to use the crane alone to lower the top drive from the rig floor to the ground. Hervart's back and realises the crew have thrown out his tried and trusted method.
I ask you, why we connected on the fixed link on the travelling block? For what? For nothing. Now we walk here 3 hours for nothing. And nobody will follow my order. The train driver, he will change the program. He will pick up directly with the crane. That is not the normal procedure. Bring it down with the travelling block, please.
Easy, one crane enough. Lower down is one.
He bring one step down. Yes. Okay, when he light, oh, we can't do it. I'm not a crane driver.
The crew's boss has persuaded Hervart to let them do it their way, although Hervart doesn't sound particularly convinced.
Yeah. Now he can do what you want.
Yeah, that's just we watch them and see.
Yeah. Hardly any of the equipment for the oil field is made in Iraq. Almost all of it must be imported. Keeping track on their overseas subcontractors is a massive logistical challenge for Lukoil's managers.
Мы с огромным уважением относимся к нашим подрядчикам. Если бы мы их не уважали, мы бы никогда их не предквалифицировали. Мы их должны взять очень жестко и управлять так, чтобы они достигали те цели, которые они обещали сделать.
Lukoil's most important contractor is over 4,500 miles away, in Seoul, Korea. Seoul is home to the multinational conglomerate Samsung. Samsung won the contract to design and build the Central Processing Facility, or CPF. That's the enormous installation at the centre of the site that removes impurities from the oil.
They were considered to be the most technically competent, had the best name. So that was how it was decided. There was more to it in technical evaluation, of course, but bottom line is they were seen to be the best bid.
Lukoil have a permanent team of 60 people based in Seoul to ensure the project is delivered to their specifications, on budget and on time. Project manager Mark is worried that Samsung have made too many cutbacks in order to get the job done on time.
You've actually cut this to the bone, which means when you actually put the dance floor in and the welding machines in and the pipe in and all the personnel standing on that dance floor, you will deflect and deform some of those beams. You need to identify which cross members need to be replaced or strengthened, and they need to know that now.
Mr. Vladimir, we are waiting for.
Don't hang around waiting for Vladimir to tell you it needs to be done. I'm telling you it needs to be done. So please get on that. Talk it through, find out what the answer is, and make it happen, please. This is a schedule-driven project. Everything is schedule-driven. From deliveries to procurement to construction, it's all schedule-driven.
This is Ulsan, 190 miles south of the capital, Seoul. It's Korea's industrial heartland, and it's where one of the most important parts of the central processing facility is being made. Giant steel tanks called vessels. Lukoil's chief mechanical engineer, Pavel Denshikov, arrives to oversee the final stages in the manufacture of the vessels. There are 9 of these vessels. They sit at the heart of the CPF. It's where the salt, gas and water from the crude oil is removed. The vessels are welded together. Each one contains over 50 separate welding joints. But that creates a problem. Welding weakens the molecular structure of steel, and that might lead to the vessels developing a leak. And on any oil field, leaking oil and gas is a huge threat to life and limb. There's a solution. It's called post-welding treatment. Heating up the vessels in a giant furnace restores the molecular structure of the steel to its full strength. The vessels are placed on the back of a custom-built trailer for the journey to the furnace. It takes 30 minutes to travel 300 meters. The vessels will be left in the furnace overnight at a temperature of 625 degrees centigrade. It's 8 o'clock the next morning, and Pavel has returned to see if the process has worked. Water is injected into the vessels to test for leaks. The pressure is raised.
We do these pressure tests to check that the whole body and all welding joints are okay. No leakage, no any damage, no any faults.
Each of the 50 plus welds needs to withstand that pressure. The pressure is raised once again. It must remain constant for 20 minutes to pass the test. It's holding steady.
It's almost finished. Now we are going to drop the pressure to 0 and check all welding joints one more time, because from time to time after pressure dropped, it could be some leakage could be found.
As the pressure drops, Pavel takes his final measurements.
The test was done perfectly.
This vessel has passed with flying colours. Hervart's Chinese crew are taking a long time to take down the top drive, because they insist on doing it their way. The crane operator starts the lift. He's going to try and pick the top drive up from the rig floor and place it straight onto the ground. But the crane is too close to the rig.
Again. At this position is sure not lay down the top drive. I see the Chinese crew have nothing experience, nothing. I cannot understand. When you do send this procedure by my company, we'll fire it immediately.
But Hervart doesn't have that option. He must get on with the job at hand.
People cannot see the problems.
And then, disaster strikes.
Hey! Stop! Stop! Down! You come up! You come up! Bring it back! The crane come up! You're crazy! Hey! Bring the crane! Bring it back! Immediately! Bring it back! The crane will come over. Safety officer has stopped the job. Bring it back! Immediately!
The job is halted. It should take around 1 hour to remove a faulty top drive from the rig, but 5 hours have gone by and the job is nowhere near finished. Hervart decides to call a crisis meeting with the rig manager.
This morning we discussed this.
Yes.
And we say, so okay, we'll do it in this way, this, step by step. And we prepare everything to do it. And suddenly we change to another plan.
The rig manager is still convinced the crane alone can do the job.
I don't know why this 50 tons on the top drive is 16 tons, 60.
Just focus on this. These gentlemen here,
yes,
just to train the people. So please let the people listen to them. Listen to them. Yes. They are like a treasure. Take as much as you can from this treasure.
They agree to go back to Hervart's original plan. The top drive will be removed by winching it down a ramp, and not by the crane alone. Night has fallen. The pipe ramp is reconnected to the rig. The top drive will be guided down this ramp by the winch. The crane will only be used to steady the top drive as it descends. But the crew have forgotten to attach the winch. And now the top drive is stuck.
I will move! Okay, move. Move the towing from up. Little bit move up the running front.
The crane driver tries to wrestle it free.
Hey, the crane over here! No. Hey, the crane over here!
Hervart's done it.
Okay, the winch.
"25 tons of kit is lowered to the ground. Finally, it's down.
Nearly 7 hours. Well, nobody followed my procedure from the beginning.
Meanwhile, the team building the pipeline to take oil to the storage farm has run into another hold-up. The guys are also battling the winter weather and the local terrain.
The problem we run into here is about 1.5 meters down, you get a very dense strata. Water won't penetrate it. 2 months ago, when we went up to the canal, you look east, you look west, it was just like what you see here, flat, dry. After the December and the early January rains, you look east, you look west, as far as you can see, there's about 0.5 meter of water in every direction.
These problems are affecting the team building the pipeline from the oil field to the storage tanks in Basra. This is the main road between Basra and the capital, Baghdad. It lies directly across the route that the pipeline will take. The pipeline has to go underneath.
These crossings are paramount to us. We need to get them out of the way because there's a lot of them.
But permission to dig under the road requires a permit from the Iraqi authorities. That's held up by red tape, leaving the excavations exposed to the elements.
Yeah, we're in the season that we're in right now. It's paramount that we do not leave excavations open for too long. Where we've had up on the northern side, where we've had excavations open for only 7 days and no rain, but water table is high and the sidewalls were collapsing.
It's early morning on Hervart's rig. The guys have finally got the faulty top drive down. But it's bad news. It's beyond repair. They'll need a replacement.
If the parts are available, it don't take a long time. The workshop is not too far from here. You know, you can take at least 2 weeks. We'll be get it on the side. Yeah.
The spare part is held up in the port at Kasa. There is a temporary solution. Use a device called a Kelly. The Kelly is connected to the drill and is turned by the rig's engine. It's a substitute for the top drive. Trouble is, it's much slower and the guys are days behind schedule. Hervar calls in his fellow rig coach Nordin for help.
When we drilling with Kelly, the full section to run casing, we need you here full.
Okay, no problem.
This is important.
No problem.
Without you, I will not do it.
But when Hervar returns to the rig, he's in for a pleasant surprise. The Chinese may not know much about the top drive, but they have used a Kelly before.
Our the Chinese crew, I feeling good. We have sure no problem when we drill with the Kelly.
If they can keep this up, they'll soon be back on schedule.
I see a little bit progress every day. Every day, 1%, I feeling good.
And there's finally good news at the pipeline. The automatic welding machines are through the bottleneck at Kasa and have arrived on site. They're capable of welding 4 times as many joints per day as a manual crew. Project manager Sohab has come to check on progress.
Yeah, that's perfect. See, looking to the weld finishing, it's very clear that the automatic welding quality is much better than manual. See to the cap, that's the final pass. It's looking very clean, good with a perfect finishing. You know, and that's the advantage of automatic welding, that you get a good quality, you minimize the repair and rejection rate, and there is no need for rework.
There's almost 9,000 joints to weld if the pipeline is to be ready for November. But with the automatic welding machines up to speed, the guys are confident they can get the pipeline back on track. Blue Carl are making progress towards hitting their deadline of producing first oil by November 2013.
Я очень горжусь тем, что мы вносим вклад в развитие нового Ирака. Несмотря на все страхи, на все риски, на все оговорки, мы делаем и сделаем этот проект. И, очевидно, было бы очень здорово, если бы те деньги, которые будет зарабатывать этот проект, сделали счастливым людей Ирака.
Blue Carl are making the impossible possible. In the next episode, political unrest threatens to derail the whole project.